So I thought there were going to be a couple of small dogs. Like I was expecting it was going to be
Chihuahuas,
two or
yeah.
three different Chihuahuas running around with like, Puerto Rican flag bandanas and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
right. That's what I thought it was going to be. Now I don't really like small dogs because they tend to be very loud, but they usually get loud. But he opened the door. I swear to God, the dog's almost uh uh charge the door down. It's
Yeah.
like most people are happy with one dog and a few small dogs. This is like if Marmaduke and Scooby Doo had an entire fucking brood of dogs. Every dog was bigger. Was the dogs stood up? They're running through. They're ducking their heads because
Yeah.
the dogs are.
Yeah, each one gets bigger as they come through the door.
What
So
the fuck ever?
And the dogs are big. So did you get any more big dogs?
No, we have only three.
Yeah.
We're
You have
waiting.
only three, so a couple of them are dead. Is that what happened? I swear to God, you had
No.
five.
well,
Did you
the,
have like five dogs? Oh.
the
No,
humane
I
the
used to
Humane
have
Society told him no more.
the
Is
Humane
what
Society.
happened.
No,
They-
we used to have a older one named Judd, and he passed. He had a heart attack.
yeah. That was a few years ago.
Yeah,
That was a few years ago. Oh, that maybe I saw Jen. I remember there was that one dog that was kind of limping
So
along
these
behind
are the gigantic,
in a
scary
walker.
dogs that Adam is talking about.
Well, when they're running,
Everybody, look at how scary they are.
Well, all dogs look harmless when you shoot them in bed like that. All of the dogs that I mean, look, there's a guy in my neighborhood. I saw a guy yesterday with a German Shepherd. The German Shepherd had a ball in its mouth. It was so happy to have the ball in its mouth, and it looked like it couldn't hurt anybody. But I was fairly confident that if I took the ball, it would rip my arm off. I'm sure about that. And then the guy would say, "Well, he
yeah,
probably had drugs on him. The dog, was trained to, attack people who have drugs." And it's like, well, maybe, but the drugs I have are legal. It's not your dog used to. That's a good question. I wonder what happened to all the former like weed sniffing dogs that now are still alive because they only do service for whatever 5 years, right? So like a dog will live 15 years. Dog will live 15 years, right?
Yeah.
If you stop doing, if you were trained to growl at people who smell, for weed when they're trying to like bring weed across the border or whatever, and now that's like 7 years ago, and the dog is still, old. It's a big fucking dog. Is the dog growling at stoners? Oh, you got to move to. Oh, you got to live in Kentucky because if you live in Vermont, you're growling at everybody in the grocery store.
exactly.
I'll,
mean-
give you, I'll give you a good one, right? My dog Charlie, he's trained like if you're like sad or like depressed or something,
He senses
he
it.
sits. No,
Yeah.
he sits. I'm serious. He sits, and if you move and you don't pet him, he like scoots over to you. So we had a friend who we're not gonna name him. He was going through a divorce, and like we like to play this game in the house. Like when people walk in, it's like we'll bring Charlie out and we'll let Charlie sniff him. And like my buddy walks in, and as soon as he walked in, my Charlie just like sat down and looked at him. He just wouldn't pet him, and like for like 2 days we kept this straight. He's like, man, what the fuck is wrong with this dog? Like he just keeps like scooting towards you, just stares at me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he just stares at me. Like he just doesn't do anything else. He just like stares at me like Pappy! And it's like you have to pet him. Finally we tell him and he's just like, what the fuck? That's like scary. You take him out, dude. If you take him out and he smells like someone, he just sits. Like he did that at the pet store the other day. Like, we took him out and like this lady next to smelled and he just sat there and we like pull him and he like keep going towards the lady. I go, no, he just wants to be petted. And my wife is like, this is so bad. It's such a horrible
You should have
game
seen
to
him
play.
before, because believe it or not, Richard was happy